This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, October 13. In Squiz Kids Today, the big toy revamp, Chloe's English Channel record, the elk with a tyre around its neck, and calling all Newshounds. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
Have you ever noticed when you walk into a toy shop or the toy aisles of the big department stores how there are aisles for girls and aisles for boys? And how the boy toy aisles are filled with tanks and boats and trucks and cars? And the girl toy aisles are packed with dolls and princess outfits? And everything is in a sort of bright pink that makes your head hurt a little bit? Well, that's all set to change after one of the world's biggest toy companies, Lego, yesterday said it would no longer make Lego sets specifically for boys or girls, but rather Lego designed to be played with by both boys and girls. The news came on the same day that California, one of the biggest states in America, passed a law which will require toy shops to mix up boys' and girls' toys on their shelves. Dolls in amongst the Hot Wheels, Elsa costumes alongside the Spidey outfits. The lawmakers in California say that boys' toys have been traditionally geared towards science, maths, and engineering, where girls' toys tended to be geared towards caring for babies, fashion, and cooking and housework. They say that kids should be encouraged to play with whatever toy they want to play with, and not just the ones that some toy company or toy shop says that they should play with.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in the English Channel, which is a stretch of water between the countries of England and France, where Aussie long-distance swimmer Chloe McArdle is today expected to break the world record for the most number of crossings. At around lunchtime today, our time, or 4 a.m. English time, Chloe will wade into the water off the coast of England and, despite having a nasty chest infection, she'll attempt to become the first person in the world to swim the channel 44 times. The swim will take her about 8 hours in total, during which time she'll have to swim against strong currents and cover at least 32 kilometres, as she makes her way to the French coastline. Pretty impressive for someone who, at the age of 11, didn't even know how to swim. Go Chloe, you've got this.
Animal Kingdom.
There's an elk in Colorado which is walking a whole lot lighter and no longer has a pain in its neck after park rangers in the mountainous American state removed a car tyre that had been stuck around its neck for 4 long years. The elk, which is a type of deer and native to Colorado, had been carrying the car tyre around since it got stuck around its neck 4 years ago. Several attempts by rangers over the years to remove the tyre had failed, but this week they managed to tranquilise the buck, which is the word for a male deer, and pull the tyre off. Tranquilise means to give it a little injection to make it sleepy enough so that it can't run away. When rangers weighed the tyre, which was full of sticks and dirt and water that had accumulated over the years, it weighed a whopping 16 kilograms. Imagine the relief of not having to carry around that anymore. There's a link to photos of the elk with the tyre around its neck in today's episode notes.
Newshounds.
This term, we've launched a new segment of Squiz Kids. Every Wednesday, we're going to join Squizzy the Newshound to scratch beneath the surface of stories that we think are fishy and sniff out the truth. Why? Because every day, all over the world, millions of people believe things that aren't true that they see on the internet, on their phones, sometimes even in newspapers or on TV. So, we're here to remind you that we all need to stop, think, and check. This week, Squizzy has been sniffing around YouTube, which last week announced plans to stamp out misinformation about climate change. What's misinformation? It's a fancy word for information that isn't true. And unfortunately, there's lots of misinformation all over the internet, including lots of people posting videos to YouTube claiming that climate change isn't real. By banning ads on videos that contain climate misinformation, YouTube hopes that those videos will eventually disappear. It's a good reminder, though, to be more squizzy. And every time you read, see, or hear a piece of information, stop, think about who's telling you that information, and check whether that information can be trusted. We'll pop some links in today's episode notes that can help you do just that.
Squiz Kids for Schools.
Teachers, if you've already signed up to Squiz Kids for Schools, you'll find that today's daily download is all about Newshounds and developing media literacy skills. Your class will be practicing identifying persuasive language and using their best descriptive writing skills to create captions for climate-related images. You're not a Squiz Kids for Schools member yet? Why on earth not? It's completely free for all of Term 4. Head on over to squizkids.com.au to register.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What sort of animal had a tyre removed from around its neck? That's right, it was an elk. Question number 2. What's the name of the body of water between France and England that Aussie Chloe McCardle will be swimming today? Yeah, it's the English Channel. Question number 3. Which very successful toy company is changing the way it sells to boys and girls? You got it, it's Lego.
Shout-outs.
It's October 13, birthday of Aussie Olympic swimming great Ian Thorpe. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Taj from Warragee, Harvey from The Gap, Francesca from Geraldton, Ina from Mandurah, Stefan from Revesby, Jacob from Townsville, Ruben from Forest Lake, Lucy from Minamara, and Maya from Hamilton North. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Miles from Williamstown, Oliver from Mornington, Thomas from Marino, and Kabir and Deacon from Springfield. And finally, because our friends in Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney are in lockdown, we are sending out home learning herograms. To Mrs. Hughes at Minamara Public School from Ruby and Abel. Callum sends a herogram to Mr. O'Connor at Mount Terry Public School and says thanks for being a great principal. To Mrs. Weir and Mrs. Oswald at the Good Shepherd Primary School in Canberra from Bethany. Zoe from Roseville sends her sister Josie a herogram for being so focused with her home learning, and Storm from Abbotsford sends one to her mum for being supportive at home. One last herogram to Preston from Woollahra. His mum says he's been super independent during home learning. Well done. And finally, classroom shout-outs to those lucky Squiz Kids not in lockdown. To the Year 4s at Henschke Primary School in Wagga Wagga. To Ms Dickinson and all the Grade 3s at Polaris State School in WA. And to Miss Talovich and Class 4A at St Peter's Lutheran College in Indooroopilly. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, or you'd like to send a home learning herogram, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.